Right, regular. No more. It's supposed to be more
Krishna. The remote is, can you just switch it on? Can you just connect? What is connected to HDMI 1? You can put it HDMI 2. It's on HDMI 2. Hare Krishna. First of all, we would like to welcome all of you to our Sunday Feast program. So as it was stated earlier, the prasadam will be at 7:45, so which gives me a little more time. So maybe I will go till 7:40 and then open the house for some Q&A. Okay, so this is what we are going to see. How to be a Saragrahi. Of course, I will base it on Srimad Bhagavatam. So we will be reciting a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. But there are two terms Srila Prabhupada would he would use. One was called as Saragrahi and other one is called as Bharavahi. So Saragrahi means essence seeker. And Bharavahi means who leaves out the essence and carries the remaining burden. Isn't it? Just like a student who studies in the university, he can actually study, he can be part of so many clubs during the semester, but at the end of the semester, though he may be excelling in debate club, in the singing club, in various other clubs, but if he fails his end semester exams, the whole semester is lost. Because at the end of the semester, no one will take into account how many clubs he was part of. The essence is he has to pass the semester, isn't it? So the essence seeker is one who keeps essence intact, and therefore all the other details are taken care with respect to that essence. Whereas Bharavahi or burden carrier is one who leaves out the essence, and therefore whatever details he carries, it simply is equivalent to a burden. We'll see it further. Yeah. So this is what we will refer to, and we'll come to the content. Yeah. Can you please repeat after me? Bhurini bhuri karmani श्रोतव्यानि विभागशः अतः साधोऽत्र यत्सारं समुद्धृत्य मनीषया ब्रूहि भद्राय भूतानां येनात्मसु प्रसीदति. So of course this is a Sanskrit verse taken from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, 11th verse, 1111. In this, a group of sages eager to benefit the society in general, all of us, we are part of that society. So they decided to approach a very learned saintly person called as Suta Goswami. And they're asking from him, my dear Suta Goswami, the age of Kali, the current age, has already started. So please narrate to us the essence of all the Vedic literatures, the essence of all worship, the essence of all austerities, the essence of everything, because we do not have time and energy to invest in anything, isn't it? Yeah. So there are many varieties of scriptures. This is a translation. There are many varieties of scriptures, and all of them, there are many prescribed duties, which can be learned only after many years of study in their various divisions. Therefore, sage, please select the essence of all these scriptures and explain it for the good of all living beings, that by such instruction their hearts may be fully satisfied. Isn't it? So here they're asking for the essence of all Vedic literatures. How many of you present here can give 6 hours daily for Shastric study? Anyone here? 6 hours? 8 hours? At least 1 hour daily for Shastric study, anyone can give? Okay, one. One courageous man. Isn't it? Where is the time? There is no time. Because there is no time, therefore the sages on our behalf are asking, please give us the essence of all knowledge. So basically they are asking saram. Therefore you will see in this verse, the third line, the last word is saram. Saram means essence. So now let me show you. Let's begin from the beginning. If any one of you have any question, you can feel free to ask me in the middle by raising your hand. Okay. So once upon a time, there was a guru with a disciple. This disciple was not a Saragrahi, he was a Bharavahi disciple. And you will understand why. Guru, after having his food, he was very, of course, because he had food, there is a fruit called as haritaki. So those of you who are familiar with Ayurveda, you know, there's something called as triphala. It's good for digestion. One of the ingredients is haritaki. Haritaki is very good for digestion. So the guru told the disciple, please bring me this haritaki fruit and only give me the essence of this fruit. Throw away the remaining. So the disciple wanted to really please the guru. So what did he do? He took out all the skin, took out all the pulp and threw it. And gave what is in the middle. What is it? A seed. A strong seed. He gave it to the guru. The guru, looking at the seed, immediately chastised the disciple, saying that you are such a fool that you do not know what is the essence of haritaki fruit. Because the skin and the pulp is the most important aspect of haritaki fruit, not the seed. Isn't it? So therefore, understanding that the guru wanted the skin and the pulp, not what is in the middle. The next day, guru asked for some cardamom, elaichi. And the disciple remembered. What did the guru say? What did he say yesterday? The skin and the pulp, not the seed, not what is in middle. So therefore, when guru asked for cardamom, the disciple very obediently, he took the cardamom pods, took whatever is in the middle, threw it in the trash, and gave a bowl full of skin, cardamom skin. And again, the guru had to chastise the disciple. So this is a Bharavahi disciple. Now you're able to understand what is Bharavahi. What good does cardamom skin have without the essence of the cardamom? So Bharavahi is like that. He has taken out the essence and he's carrying the skin of the cardamom pods. Isn't it? So this story is narrated to make us understand, we should first of all understand what is essence and then we have to share the essence. Why are we seeking after essence? Why should we be essence seekers in life? Very practical reasons. See, this is a bumblebee. In a swampy area, bumblebee goes and it directly sits on a lotus flower and sucks the nectar, which is the essence of the lotus. Whereas a fly or any other insect going into a swampy area, it gets distracted by so much of dirt. So therefore, the bumblebee is an essence seeker. So why should we be essence seeker? Can someone read? Loudly? Anyone can read? Yeah, to perceive the deeper levels of truth. Sorry. Yeah, next. Yeah, to prioritize better. If you know the essence, you know where to invest your energy, your resources, isn't it? Next. Yeah, avoid distractions in your path. Whether it be material path or spiritual path, you avoid distractions by knowing what the essence is. Yeah, unity in diversity. That means when you come in a community, you're not going to see people in terms of their body color, race, caste, creed. Rather, you're going to understand that all of us, we are all spirit souls and not this body. Isn't it? It's not that I'm Indian, you're American, he's Bengali, he's African. We are all spirit souls, part and parcel of Krishna. Next. Yeah, better use of resources because you know where to invest them. And last one, to see good in others and appreciate individuality. Yeah, we saw the verse. So Adi Shankaracharya in his Gita Mahatmya, the glories of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he states this verse. Can you all repeat after me? Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam. Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva. Eko Mantrastasya Namani Yani. Karmapi Ekam Tasya Devasya Seva. Yeah. So today is an age which is called as jet age. Jet age means everything is going on fast lanes, isn't it? Fast lanes means we want everything to be instant. Instant noodles, instant soup, instant dosa, instant idli. Isn't it? We want it to be instant. So therefore, since we don't have time, Adi Shankaracharya being very smart, he's saying, if at all you have any time to study Shastra, just study one scripture. What is that? Devaki Putra Gitam. That is Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And if you have any time to worship anyone, worship Sri Krishna, Devaki Putra Eva. Eko Mantras Tasya Namani Yani means, if at all you have some time to chant names of God, chant the names of Krishna, the Hare Krishna mantra. And Karma Api Ekam Tasya Devasya Seva. And whatever work you're doing, just connect it to Krishna. Let that work be Krishna. Let that work be service to Krishna. Adi Shankaracharya is pretty straightforward and precise whom to worship. He's not saying you go through different demigods and go through different varieties of different sorts of worship. Very straightforward. One Bhagavad Gita, one Krishna, one Hare Krishna mantra, one work that is service to Krishna. Your life is perfect. This is in Gita Mahatmya. This is the glory of the Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada, when he came to the West in 1965, that time, or 1966, he actually went to the Tompkinsville Park and he chanted the Hare Krishna mantra. Now, when the people who came there, they were not civilized human beings working in a company, maintaining a family. They were living a life equivalent to those of dogs and cats, eating, sleeping, mating, defending on the streets. So how could Srila Prabhupada actually preach the message, reach out the message of Krishna consciousness to such people? How is it possible? Because he understood that even these people, they are not their bodies. They are spirit soul. He could see that spark, spiritual spark in each one of them. And that is called a spiritual vision. Of course, we'll come to that. Therefore, what did Prabhupada do? Srila Prabhupada converted these hippies into happies, isn't it? Because he could see the essence. Essence of all our existence is that we are a spiritual spark, not this material body. Depending on consciousness, we perceive. Some people look at a person and think he's just this body. Whereas some people can go deeper and understand he is not this body, he is spirit, soul. So what do we mean by essence? Anyone knows? We are talking about so much of essence seeker. But what is the meaning of essence? Nectar of flower. Okay. So essence seeker means we should go to flowers and take the nectar. Okay. Thank you. Anything else? What is the essence? If we have to be essence seekers, that means we are looking for essence. What do you understand by term essence? Yeah. Very good. To look for some deeper truth beyond the externals and face values. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, to get the entire picture of the context. Okay, thank you. The moral or the lesson out of it. So when I checked on in the dictionary, this is what I got. A property or group of properties which actually of something without which the existence of that commodity is actually, it's no more the same thing if you take that away, isn't it? So therefore Krishna tells Arjuna in 15:15, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matasmritir jnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarve rahameva vedyo vedanta krid veda videva chaham. Krishna is telling Arjuna, Vedaischa sarver ahameva vedyo. The purpose of all knowledge is to understand me. That means you take away Krishna from knowledge. What does it become? Useless commodity. So there are so many people who are translating, misinterpreting Bhagavad Gita and removing Krishna from the Bhagavad Gita. And they're giving all sorts of interpretations. So what is that? Simply a burden. You have read it and it was only Shrama Eve Kevalam. It was just hard work. At the end of the day, you didn't get anything useful out of it. So essence is that which is actually adding value to the commodity. It is actually, if there is the essence, people are actually paying for that essence, for a commodity. Isn't it? If all of you are coming to the Sunday Feast program and if we don't talk about Krishna, then we are cheating you. If we are not glorifying Krishna, we are cheating you. If you go to a temple and there's no glorification of God, then it's a cheat. If when I was in Boston, we used to go to MIT for student program. And I found that at MIT, there is a religious group which is called as atheism. Did you know that? At MIT, the board of all the intellectuals, there is a religious group called as atheism. How is this possible? Basically, they have removed God from the picture. So what is the group all about? It's simply a burden. Whatever arguments, whatever logic, everything is simply a burden. Because they have removed God out of the picture. And it's a religious group. Whom are they worshipping? Mr. No One. Isn't it? So therefore, essence is what we should look for. When we look for the essence, then we save a lot of time. We are saved from distractions. You can hold on to essence and sometimes even change the details. Because as long as the principle or the essence is intact. Isn't it? You see? Actually, when we talk about essence, some people can actually look at the essence, whereas some others cannot see the essence. Why? There are two things, and this is very important. Therefore, same object, there are different levels of vision and there are different angles of vision. So this will talk about different angles of vision. So when say a beautiful lady comes, how does a tiger see her? As food, isn't it? As lunch. How does a young man see her? I'm pretty sure all of you are not so innocent. As prospective wife, isn't it? How do the kids see her? Yeah, as a mother. And how does a sage see her? Soul. Okay, that's good. I was going to say Maya. Isn't it? So therefore, same object but multiple vision. How is it possible? So therefore, the point here being told is there can be same object, but we all can see the same object differently. So we don't have to be so proud of our vision. Many people question us, have you seen God? What is the use of that question? Because to that question, they don't understand we all can see the same object differently. For example, when you read Srimad Bhagavatam, you will find in 7th canto, Prahlad was able to see Krishna everywhere, isn't it? He could see it in pillar. He could basically see Krishna holding the atoms together. Whereas Hiranyakashipu could not see Krishna anywhere. How is it possible? One person is seeing Krishna everywhere, other person is not able to see Krishna anywhere. There's something wrong, isn't it? So, therefore, vision is a matter of consciousness. If we really want to see things at a deeper level, gain deeper knowledge, that means we need to elevate our consciousness. At the same level of consciousness, Albert Einstein says, at the same level of consciousness which created a problem, you cannot get the solution at the same level, at the same platform of consciousness. The solution to that problem will be from a higher level of consciousness. Therefore, material problems cannot have material solutions. They remain as problems, or they create further problems. If you have material problems, you need what solutions? Spiritual solutions. How many of you are with me till now? Okay, very few. Others? So, able to understand what we are speaking? So, we started with now how to be an essence seeker, Saragrahi, and one of you said that we want to understand deeper levels of truth. So now, but the problem is same object can be seen from different levels of vision. There are different levels of vision and different angles of vision, isn't it? So how can you really access the truth? So therefore, the solution is different level of consciousness. Same object, different perceptions, based on consciousness. For a pig, if you give a plate of halwa, it is not very attractive. Did you know that? Whereas for us, without anyone giving permission, we'll eat it. Isn't it? But for a pig, you give stool, it's very attractive. For us, when we go to the bathroom, we want to get out from there as soon as possible. Why? Different levels of consciousness. Isn't it? Same object, multiple perceptions based on different levels of consciousness. Therefore, when Krishna Balram visited Kamsa Mama in Mathura at his arena, it is mentioned in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam how different people saw Krishna Balram differently. Same Krishna Balram, but they saw them differently. I'm not sure if you think you can repeat after this one? Okay, you can try. Malla naam ashanirninam naravara. You can repeat this much. Strinam smaro murtiman. Gopanam svajanoshatam kshitibujam. Shasta swapat pitro shishuhu. Mrityur bhojapater virat avidusham. Avidusham. Tattvam param yoginam. Vrishninam paradevate vidito. Rangam gata sagrajaha. Very good. All of you are expert. Yeah. Yeah, this is important. So you can see there are 9 different ways people viewed Krishna Balram in the arena. What are they? The wrestlers saw Krishna as lightning bolt. Basically, their death was coming, they understood when they saw Krishna Balram. The men of Mathura saw Krishna Balram as the best of males. The women saw Krishna Balram as Cupid personified. They were so handsome, so beautiful. The cowherd men saw Krishna Balram as their own relatives. The impious rulers saw him as a chastiser, the one who will give us chastisement or punishment. Of course, his parents were also there, so parents saw Krishna Balram as their own children. The king of Bhojas, Kamsa, saw them as death, coming close to him. The unintelligent people there saw him as universal form. The yogis saw Krishna Balram as the supreme lord, the lord of everything. And the Vrishnis saw Krishna Balram as their supreme worshipable deities. Isn't it? So in this way you see, even when Krishna Balram entered the arena, you find different levels of perception of same object, Krishna Balram. The previous example was different angles of vision, and this is different levels of perception. Someone saw Krishna as death personified, someone saw Krishna as my lover, based on consciousness. So if we really want to access the truth, we need to work on elevating our consciousness. Isn't it? How many of you present here like to be cheated in life? Yeah, you like to be cheated? Why? No, you want to be cheated, like someone else will cheat you. What, you want it? Okay. None of us want to be cheated, isn't it? So if you're looking at something but your eyes are actually deceiving, our own eyes, they're deceiving us. Isn't it? For example, a pencil put through in a glass of water, it appears to be broken. But is it really broken? No. It's not broken. It's the law of refraction. In optics you'll study. Similarly, you find on a railroad, they appear to be meeting at a point. Do they meet at a point? If they do meet at a point, trains will not be able to move. Isn't it? So we understand our senses are defective. Isn't it? So therefore, we cannot depend on our senses completely, especially the gross senses. So how do you access further knowledge? Isn't it? If we want to access deeper levels of truth, and if we don't want to be cheated, that means you are looking for absolute truth. How do you access it? By elevating our consciousness. Isn't it? In Vishnu Purana, this is mentioned. How many levels of consciousness are there? 8.4 million levels of consciousness. They say species, but that species is level of consciousness. So for each level of consciousness, you are going to get a particular type of body. How many human species are there? 400,000 human species. That means 400,000 levels of consciousness just for the human being. Lowest of them being, in my understanding, would be a cannibal who is ready to eat another human being. And the topmost, as Sri Prabhupada told us, the topmost of all consciousness is Krishna consciousness. So of the 8.4 million species, if we don't work on our consciousness, then punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janini jatare shayanam, idu samsare bahudukkare, kripaya apare pahimurare. We are going to actually be going on in the cycle of birth and death, and we are not going to get a human form of life. Next life we can be born as a dog, we can be born as a pig, we can be born as a cockroach. Anything can happen depending on our state of consciousness at the time of death. If some people like to sleep all day, then they don't deserve human body, because in human body if you sleep all day you'll get a disease. It's very bad for health. But if you still have the desire to sleep all day, material nature will arrange a polar-based body. You can sleep 6 months a year in hibernation, isn't it? If someone wants to eat other than vegetarian food, then sometimes we can get, human body is not the fittest. The digestive juices are not powerful enough to digest meat or anything. Nor is our teeth enough to bite the meat. So no problem, material nature will arrange a tiger's body, a lion's body. Some people like to not wear clothes. You'll find them in New York City. They don't like to wear clothes. Such people will get a tree's body. You don't have to wear clothes. You don't have to worry about it, isn't it? So, depending on our level of consciousness, our body is destined for the next life. So, what level of consciousness do you want out of 8.4 million species? How do we, so therefore, what karma we do, what actions we perform in our life determines our state of consciousness at the time of death. How are you living your life? It's important. It's important to actually question, how am I living my life? What choices am I making? Very important. Why? Because the choices we make will determine our thought at the time of death. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajatante kalevaram. In that verse, Krishna tells, Tata deveti kante sadatat bhava bhavitha. Whatever thought one remembers at the time of death, similar body he attains in the next birth. One has to be very careful. Of course, we don't have to worry if we are elevating our consciousness, which all of you are by coming to a temple, isn't it? So here we will see, actually, if you can categorize all consciousness into two platforms as material consciousness and spiritual consciousness. What is material consciousness? One may think, I am this body, and whatever is connected to my body is important. If something is connected to someone else's body, it is not important. I don't care. Isn't it? What is spiritual counter for this? Correct. This body is not all in all. Spirit, soul exists. Next. A materially conscious person thinks in terms of eat, drink, and be merry. That's the goal of life. Don't worry about all this soul, reincarnation, life after death, choices. Just, YOLO, they say, you only live once. So enjoy the life as much as possible. Everything ends at the time of death. But spiritual consciousness is, this lifetime is not all in all. Many more lifetimes exist. Isn't it? Similarly, material consciousness is, there is no other reality than this material world. Kabhi kushi, kabhi gum, they say, isn't it? Accept distress as part of life and happiness also. Some people say, if you don't have distress, how will you appreciate happiness? That's one of the arguments, isn't it? But if you ask a person, ask a student, in first semester he got a 4 GPA, here is 4 GPA. Second semester 4 GPA. Third semester 4 GPA. Fourth semester ask him, are you ready to fail? He'll say, no, I want 4 again. Fifth, are you ready to fail? No, I want 4 again. Then if he got 4 GPA in every semester, okay, do you want to fail an interview? No, I want job, good job. And in that job also I want to succeed in my positions better and better position with better and better salary. So at no point in time, the living entity actually wants failure, wants distress in his life. Why? Because we are all spirit soul, Satchidananda. We are all looking for happiness. How much happiness? 1 liter of happiness? 1 room of happiness? Sorry? Unlimited amount of happiness. Isn't it? Atyantika sukha pravritti. So all our efforts and energy and time we're investing in that direction, which is going to increase our happiness. And all our efforts and time and energy is going in that direction to counter distress. So Atyantika sukha pravritti and Atyantika dukkha nivritti. Isn't it? You can analyze. Throughout our life, these are 2 things which we are doing. These are only 2 things. Increasing happiness, reducing distress. Increasing happiness, reducing distress. Isn't it? So, in the material world, there is no permanent happiness. Kamala dala jala jivana talamala, it is said. The material life is like a drop which is tottering on a petal of a lotus flower. Anytime it can fall off. Things can immediately break apart in the material world. Yes, you have a question? Yeah. Correct. Yeah, so here species is, species means level of consciousness. It's not the species as defined by the scientists today in biology. Yeah. So of course the total is 8.4 million. Jai Shri Radha Govind Dev ki Jai. So there are 8.4 million species or 8.4 million levels of consciousness. In that 400,000 is human consciousness. In that humans also, some humans behave like animals. Haven't you seen? Some human beings are very gentlemanly. Have you seen that? Yeah. So that's what is the different levels of consciousness. So I will just proceed. Yeah. So therefore, spiritual consciousness is this material world is not all in all. Spiritual world exists. And the last one, material consciousness means I am the controller, I am the proprietor, I am the enjoyer. There is no God, I am only God, they say. Sorry? Kamchor. Sorry? Kamchor, yeah. And spiritual consciousness means we are not all in all, God exists. So what is destination? Yes, Prahlad. And destination of person with material consciousness, suffering in this life as well as next. A spiritually minded person, he has happiness in this life as well as next. These are the examples. Ravana is always thinking, wherever he goes, he has one question to ask. What is in it for me? How can I enjoy this? Isn't it? Whereas a spiritually minded person, wherever he goes, he asks, how can I serve in this situation? How can I please Krishna in this situation? This is the difference. Ravana performed austerities to get boons. But what was the use of austerity? Selfish demands. Isn't it? Hanuman, he performed austerities by jumping to Lanka and defeating various demons on the way. Why? To serve Lord Ram. Whether it be austerities, whether it be eating habits, sleeping habits, lifestyle, our goals in life, everything can be based on whether on the platform of how can I enjoy or on the platform of how can I serve. You are able to understand what is the difference between material and spiritual consciousness? So therefore, we have to be like Hanuman. Like Srila Prabhupada, when he came to the West, he looked at the tall buildings, skyscrapers, and he had tears in his eyes. And some of the disciples thought probably Prabhupada likes our advancement. And they asked Prabhupada, why do you have tears in your eyes? And Srila Prabhupada said, it's because I feel sorry for them. They're making so much so-called advancement, but they're locking up themselves in a matchbox type of homes. That's all. You go to nature and look at the sky. The vastness of sky will show to you that God exists. It's so huge, sky. But nowadays you look, in New York City, you look up, you can only see your own skyscrapers. So people think I'm only God because I'm surrounded by my own creation. Isn't it? Therefore, in the Vedic times, people were more connected to nature. More we connect ourselves to nature, more we become God conscious. So this is the secret verse. Actually, in second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, when Shukadev Goswami is speaking to Parikshit, he tells how people who are not attending Bhagavad Gita classes, Srimad Bhagavatam classes, who are not spiritually minded, they are pashyan api na pashyati. They are seeing, but they are not seeing. Isn't it? For example, if I put a car in front of you here, and if I ask you, what do you see? What do you see? Say I put a Ford car here. What do you see? Do you understand the question? I put a car in front of you, a Ford car. I don't know exact models and all that, but I know there's a Ford car. But what do you see in that car? Okay, you see, okay, car is an object. Probably I can use this car to go to temple. Do you see anything else also? If you see that this is a car for me to go to temple, it's good. Good consciousness. But what else do you see? Maintenance, insurance, traffic, accident. This is a deeper vision, isn't it? Because many people, they look at a nice car, especially if there's an offer tag, they'll purchase it also. But a person who has deeper level of vision, he will see, but if I get the car, where will I park it? If I drive it, I'll be stuck in New York City traffic. Who will pay for the insurance? Who will pay for the petrol? Goes from my own pocket. So do I really need a car? Question. So he doesn't jump right into it. You able to understand? Deeper level of vision. Same object, but deeper vision. Therefore, Shukadeva Goswami says materialists, people who are not practicing Krishna consciousness, they are Pashyan apina pashyati. They look at the car, oh, it's meant for my enjoyment, purchase. Swipe the card and purchase it and suffer later. They say, no, Nike, just do it. We say just do it means just suffer it also. You cannot just do it, isn't it? So deeper level of vision means, this verse says, can you please repeat? Yatha yata atma parimrijyate sau mad punyagata shravana bidhanaihi tatha tatha pashyati vastu sukshmam chakshuryate vanjana samprayuktam. Yeah. So this is, the third line is the important line. Tatha tatha pashyati vastu sukshmam. You really want finer, deeper levels of vision? It happens by practicing Krishna consciousness. Why? Because you're going to elevate your consciousness. See this is the translation. When a diseased eye is treated with medicinal ointment, it gradually recovers its power to see. Similarly, as a conscious living entity cleanses himself of material contamination, called as lust, anger, greed, which will lag you in your progress. Lust, anger, greed. So actually when we practice Krishna consciousness, it is going to purify our lust, purify our anger, and purify our greed. Heart becomes cleansed, consciousness elevated. How do you do that? By hearing and chanting the pious narrations of my glories. What happens to that? He regains his ability to see me, the absolute truth, in my subtle spiritual form. This is the key. So if you look at the verse, yatha yatatma parimrijyate sau, means as and how much you cleanse yourself, tata tata pashyati vastu sukshmam. To that degree you can see deeper things. You don't see just car as a car, but you also see car as a insurance. You also see car means big payment, maintenance, and also facility. You see car more than just its face value. Isn't it? How many of you are able to understand this point? Yeah. This is the important point. So therefore, in our day-to-day lives, we need to practice chanting of Hare Krishna, hearing Bhagavad Gita, connecting with other fellow devotees. This is called as feeding the soul. Otherwise, we are just feeding the body. We're just feeding the car. Say you're going from New York to Boston, but it's a short drive, maybe some place longer. Say it's something like 8 to 12 hours ride. How many of you will park your car in a petrol station and feed the car? You'll feed the car, correct, no? If you don't feed the car, you cannot move ahead. You have to put some petrol in the car. But how many of you will also take out time to feed the driver? Isn't it? You'll also go and purchase some food for the driver. So both are required. While we maintain the car, we also need to take care of the driver. Only you're feeding the driver and not the car. The driver is healthy to drive, but the car won't move. But you're feeding the car, but not the driver. Car is in good condition, but driver is dead. Isn't it? So today, if you go to the malls and supermarkets, what is the food for? You have chips section, gadget section, clothes section, furniture section. Anything for the soul? Like when Sri Prabhupada went to MIT, he said, your institute name is MIT, but where is the department for Almighty? Isn't it? They are discussing about so many things. Like one researcher came to Prabhupada and presented a report, a big thesis on study of grass. He said, Sri Prabhupada, this is my study, years of study on grass. Prabhupada said, why don't you study the person who made this grass? Then there is some progress, isn't it? So therefore, as in how much we practice Krishna consciousness, to that degree, we can actually get deeper levels of vision. Okay, so what do you see? We'll end with this. Ocean, isn't it? But this ocean, if you ask a materialistic man, he'll say, oh, this is ocean? I understand what an ocean is. Take your measuring scale and say, ocean is a water body which covers this much amount of area. This is ocean. But is that ocean? What is the essence of the ocean? If you go deep, you understand, actually I don't know ocean. You're standing on the shore, you would think, oh, I know what ocean is. No, you have not gone deep. Dive deep, you will understand. Ocean is cannot be measured. Deeper you go, you will understand there are pearls, there are navratnas, there are corals, aquatic life, there's huge variety of aquatic life, isn't it? So more deeper you go, more one understands, I don't know, isn't it? So therefore, people who say, I am from such and such institute, but I'm very knowledgeable. I don't have to learn from anyone. If one becomes proud, that means that he doesn't know. I'm not saying, Krishna says in 13th chapter, amanitvam adambitvam. Symptom of knowledge, first symptom is amanitvam, humility. If anyone is studying scriptures, or if someone is actually going through education, if he says I'm educated, education implies humility, real education. It's like going to the ocean. More deeper you go to the ocean, more you understand I don't know ocean. Because more you understand the glories of the ocean, isn't it? Similarly, we need to be essence seekers, just as the Navratnas, many things, the aquatic, the sea, the ocean has its essence in its depth. Similarly, the human form of life is not meant for cow, pio, majakur, or eat, drink, and be merry. It is actually meant for reformation of heart or transformation of heart and perfecting our life by developing love for Krishna. Etavan Sankhya Yogabhyam Swadharma Parinishthaya Janma Labha Parapumsam Ante Narayana Smritihi. Do whatever you want at the end of your life. If you are not able to think of the Supreme Lord, then the whole whatever we did, it becomes a waste. Becomes Samayeva Kevalam. So let us convert our vision from Pasyanapina Pashyati, thinking that we are seeing but actually we are not seeing, to Tatha Tatha Pashyati Vastu Sukshmam. That means seeing, getting deeper and deeper levels of wisdom and vision and perception. And let us utilize this human form of life for what is truly meant for, a vehicle to perfect our life and connecting back to Krishna. I will end there. If anyone has any questions or anything to say, we have a couple of minutes. Okay, we'll stop there. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. Hare Krishna. Granthar Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Shri Radha Govind Dev ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare.
I have to take my mridanga to show this one kid. Thank you.
what you're going to play for me.
I'm sorry, I have to.
That's
show
all
this to
right.
my kid. I'll try and come back up and I'll bring more people.
Okay, okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, দয়া করো মোরে, শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু, দয়া করো মোরে, তোমা বিনা কে দয়ালো জগত সংসারে, তোমা বিনা কে দয়ালো জগত সংসারে, শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু, দয়া করো মোরে, পতিত পাবন হেতু তব অবতার, পতিত পাবন হেতু তব অবতার, মুষম পতিত প্রভু না পাইবে আর, মুষম পতিত প্রভু না পাইবে আর, আহা প্রভু নিত্যানন্দ, প্রেমানন্দ সুখী, আহা প্রভু নিত্যানন্দ, প্রেমানন্দ সুখী, আহা প্রভু নিত্যানন্দ, প্রেমানন্দ সুখী, কৃপা বলকান করো আমি বড় দুঃখী, কৃপা বলকান করো আমি বড় দুঃখী, দয়া করো সীতাপতি অদ্বৈত গোসাই, দয়া করো সীতাপতি অদ্বৈত গোসাই, তব কৃপা বলে পাই এই চৈতন্য নিতাই তব কৃপা বলে পাই চৈতন্য নিতাই আহা স্বরূপ সনাতন রূপরগ নাত আহা স্বরূপ সনাতন রূপরগ নাত বট যুগ শ্রী জীব প্রভু লোকনাথ দয়া কর শ্রী আচার্য প্রভু শ্রীনিবাস দয়া কর শ্রী আচার্য প্রভু শ্রীনিবাস রামচন্দ্র সঙ্গ মাগে নারুতম দাস রামচন্দ্র সঙ্গ মাগে নারুতম দাস শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু দয়া কর মোরে শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু দয়া কর মোরে তোমা বিনা কে দয়ালো জগত সংসারে তোমা বিনা কে দয়ালো জগত সংসারে হরে কৃষ্ণ হরে